Welcome into the number one Group of Five football podcast in the world. We are the Group of Five guys. Our mission is to give the Group of Five football programs the recognition, the hype, and the pride that the mainstream sports media refuses to do. We need your help to do that. We need you to hit a like, hit a subscribe, 5-star review, rating, and tell your family and friends about the Group of Five guys. Any share will help. Or you can go to groupof5guys.com and get some Group of Five guys swag, or you can follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of Five Guys. Here comes this week's episode of Inside Drill. Have you had it from somebody born and raised in Lafayette, Louisiana, at a tailgate? Doubt it.
Lee Corso is a guy who had a retirement party 10 years ago, and yet he still won't leave the office.
Projected getting drafted between the first and third round. That's incredible. The wide receivers are absolutely stacked for the Group of Five.
I said Michael Pratt has got to show up and play, and boy did he. 394 yards, 4 touchdowns, 48 rushing yards on the ground, and another touchdown.
I really appreciate you do for the Group of Five programs, and I think it's great. I think we should get more of this. But you guys are on the forefront of this, and
so I'm thankful for this. I'm glad that you're talking about the Group of Five because I think they get overlooked.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
I appreciate what you guys do, truthfully, covering the Group of Five. Y'all said it earlier, but the Sun Belt to me is college football.
On this episode of Inside Drill with the Group of Five guys, we've got Charlotte 49ers head coach Biff Poggi, mystery man in a lot of our eyes, but had a long tenure at Gilman School in Maryland, assistant coach at Michigan for a couple of years, and then most known probably for the HBO series at St. Francis Academy, The Cost of Winning. Coach, thank you so much for coming on. Welcome to the Group of Five guys.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, I got to ask you this question because it took me a long time to verify if it was actually you or not. But why the egg on the Twitter profile picture?
When Twitter first started, the placeholder for a picture was an egg. And so my kids used to say to me, "Dad, you got to put a picture up there." And I said, "All right, I will." So I took a picture of an egg and put it up there.
That's fantastic.
I was like, whenever you took the Charlotte job, I was sitting there thinking, like, I don't know if that's actually him because it's not, I guess you're not paying Elon for the blue check, and it was the egg picture, and I was like,
I have zero interest in a blue check.
Well, so I guess that brings me to my next question. So you're active on social media. But it doesn't seem like you care a whole ton about it. But how, you've been able to recruit the hell out of the transfer portal, the high school kids. I mean, everybody's talking at the Group of Five level about Charlotte and the transfers. So without, the, I guess, social media prowess, how have you been able to get such a class of guys in?
Well, first of all, coaches don't win games, players do. So if you're going to be any good as a coach, you got to have players. Of course, I had a lot of players that played for me at St. Francis that were playing all over the country in Power 5. And I'm very thankful that they decided to come, leave those great places they were at, to come, do one last ride of their old Italian coach. And so we got a bunch of guys in from all over, great schools, and a bunch of St. Francis guys and a bunch of not St. Francis guys. So really happy with how we did there. Our coaches did a great job recruiting, and, it's exciting to build something.
Absolutely. And with a lot of coaching vacancies this offseason, what kind of drew you to Charlotte and take that job?
Well, Charlotte's a really interesting place, first of all. The university is a really good school academically. It's also a beautiful school. Campus is magnificent. And the city of Charlotte is really remarkable. Charlotte is the number one banking city in the United States, which means it's the number one banking city de facto in the world. There's a tremendous number of Fortune 500 and 1,000 companies being located here. The city's exploding. It is a bright, new, vibrant city with all kinds of opportunities for young people who play football at Charlotte to have a really meaningful life after football. And so we've been working on getting to meet the corporate leaders in town, using some of our former business acumen to put together a financial literacy course for the kids, and then internships downtown, or what they call here uptown. So we're really excited, and those things were what made me want to come.
Coach, so we talked a little bit about, a bunch of the transfers, a bunch of the guys from St. Francis. How much do you think it's going to help, a team that struggled a little bit last year? It definitely had some injuries last year, but, I think you got 21 guys that played at St. Francis. So how do you think that's going to help, just with guys that have all played together, that know each other, to help flip that team around to immediate success?
Well, helps with our culture. Obviously, those guys have been great with the other guys in the building that were here, and great with the other guys from around the country that came. I think we've brought in over 40 guys, and so it's going to help us a lot. They're used to what I expect, and a physical brand of football. Offensively, we're gonna run the ball, and defensively, we're going to stop the run, and it's really great to have that kind of mindset coming in.
Yeah, and spring's just about finished up. You got your spring game Saturday. What are some of the new names and faces, the Charlotte fans and everyone else out there should look for? Who's having a good spring?
I'm really been impressed with the spring. We just had another great day today, this morning. We're going to go Thursday, and then we're going to have a spring game Saturday evening. And I think the fans are going to see a lot of exciting players. There's some great skilled players on the field. And, I don't want to be, doing a Sophie's Choice where I'm picking names of hats. But I'll just say this: you're going to see very physical, big offensive line. You're going to see some really talented running backs. We have 3 quarterbacks that I really like. We've got some big receivers. And defensively, I think we're elite. We're really good up front. A lot of size, but a lot of very talented players. We're excellent in the edge room. I think we'll be as good as anybody in the country there. And defensively, I think I expect this to be a top 10 defense.
Awesome. Okay. What kind of format are you guys doing for Saturday? A regular game, or kind of a scripted scrimmage, or what's the game plan there?
No, we drafted the teams, put the coaches up, drafted the team. We're going to have a green versus white game. We're going to play a full half with officials, just like it's 2 15-minute quarters, just like it's a regular game. And then we're going to go in and have a halftime, so we can practice having a halftime together. The only time we get a chance to do that before our first game. And then we're going to come out and we'll have a regular – that group will come back to play the first half for the first series of the third quarter. Then we will start having a running two 15-minute quarters running clock. But we may slow that down a little bit. Just depends upon the weather and everything else.
So we met Jimmy Touchstone and Rob and a bunch of your really good tailgaters out there. And one question that I think they have that I also have, will we see the sleeveless V-neck shirt?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you definitely will.
That's all I needed to hear. I'm done. I got it. I
sold.
got what I need.
So here's the reason why. I mean, first of all, I get hot really easily. Charlotte is like one of the outer layers of hell. It's so hot. So I'm coaching in shorts and I'm coaching in the V, the cutoff shirt, the V-neck shirt, and I got an ice hat, which you got to look up an ice hat because it's a ball cap with a little place you put some ice on the top, and it's very cooling. So that's how we're rolling. And what I think is hilarious is that I think baseball's hilarious where coaches wear the same uniforms the players wear. Like, why? And I also think it's hilarious when you look at a college staff or football staff across the way, and they're all dressed exactly the same. At Michigan, I wore shorts, and Jim Harbaugh said, "You going to wear the shorts?" I'm like, "Daggone right." And he said, "Good. There's a lot of wins in them." And I said, "Yeah, there's a ton of wins in them." So we're not going away from that.
I like it. That was definitely one of the favorites of I think it was when y'all played IMG, whatever one of the first games you guys were national television.
That was actually Miami Central.
Yep.
August 24th, 12 noon in Miami.
Well, and now had you been doing that forever, and that was just the first time that got?
Yeah, that's how I've always done it.
Yeah. Somebody ought to custom make you a sleeveless V-neck and give you that offer.
There's nobody giving me any money. That was a joke, fellas.
Well, Coach, I mean, we definitely appreciate you coming on. We're excited to be there Saturday to check it out. Hoping for obviously good weather. I know, some of the alumni, we know they're going to be rowdy, tailgating all day long. Hopefully we get some students out there as well. But we're looking forward to
it better be a full house.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
tell all those guys here that they're in deep trouble with the old Italian guy.
We'll let him know. I got his phone number. I'll send it to you right now if you want to.
Who, Touchstone?
Yeah, well, he'll be there.
That can't be his real name, but if it's his real name, call him his name. Jimmy Touchstone. His real name is probably Jimmy Boyarsky or something like that. But you tell Jimmy that he better have these seats filled in this stadium.
It's like one of those old Italian aliases. There's no way Touchstone. It can't be it, right?
Yeah,
it's no way. He looks like a Paisano.
He does. He's got the slick back, dark hair.
Yeah, he can't get away with that.
Oh man, well, Coach, thank you again for coming on. People of Charlotte, surrounding areas, Saturday, April 22nd, 7:00. They also got baseball and I think women's soccer before that, so it'll be an all-day affair on campus at Charlotte. Coach, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Take care.
You too.
All right, Coach. Jeff, the egg in the Twitter picture. I mean, I like it.
We finally got the answer. All of Charlotte and the Twitter sphere has been wondering why the egg, and now we know that and the sleeveless V-neck.
He was quick to answer that one. I'm wondering if the NCAA is going to just be perfectly fine with that for his tenure here.
Yeah, I don't think there's. I mean, as far as I know, there's no rules as far as like dress code or anything.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, I've just never seen anybody do anything. I mean, I guess like
you got Belichick up there in the pros.
The pros, and then a lot of the guys. Like I'm trying to think. Like Harbaugh wears khakis and he wears the sweatshirt.
Yeah,
it's not like everybody's wearing polos and.
No.
Nobody's doing shirts and ties anymore. Yeah. But
no, I think
it.
I think it fits his persona and just his attitude and the way he coaches, man. I think it's a perfect bow on top of the present.
Well, and here's the other thing: not a lot of coaches. I mean, what did he say? We're going to be elite on defense. Not a lot of coaches are going to come out and say that. So,
well,
boy,
I know
we're about to find out.
Yeah, and specifically, he said. Those edge rushers and just their perimeter guys, that's like you said, that's a big time statement. And I know a couple of their transfers are edge guys that they got.
Yep.
That he played at St. Francis. So those are big gets. And if you can, if your defense is elite, like he said, that just helps your offense even more.
Yep.
So they might be, they might have something cooking. They got a tough schedule though, Sprouse. I was looking at it a little bit ago, and I got it pulled up right here. You go at Maryland. They got a Georgia State at home, but Georgia State's a good team. At Florida, at SMU. They go at East Carolina. I mean, that's a tough stretch. You're in the American now.
It's the American, yep.
But hey, everywhere he's gone, he's won. So
that's right.
I'm not going to doubt him now.
No, and I mean, like, I can't remember who we were talking about, but you mentioned this on a podcast before. You get that much talent coming in. Especially, it's rare that you get that much talent coming in that has, half of them have already played together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of the issue. Sometimes you get a bunch of talent, you get a bunch of transfers, but then you got to mesh them together and find the right culture fit. But those guys are for sure going to buy into what he's preaching. Yeah,
they're bought in. They know his expectations are going to help the other guys in the locker room figure out, like, hey, this is how he does it.
Yep.
If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. He said he likes all three of his quarterbacks. I'm interested to see Saturday which of them have, the best showing, but that's going to be, a huge position right there, losing Chris Reynolds, who's, I feel like he was a 6th or 7th year senior. He was there forever.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he, just the notes I wrote down, big offensive line.
Yep.
Really, really talented at the running back position. Charlotte might have something brewing.
Yeah. I mean, if you bring in, and I haven't looked at which all the transfers came from, but I know some of the guys are coming from Michigan, and anytime you have a Big Ten type, that's your size right there. I mean, the one edge rusher he's talking, one of them is I think signed with Alabama out of high school and then went to Michigan and now is following coach to Charlotte. I mean, Alabama and Michigan ain't recruiting somebody unless they're a baller. And
100%.
And it doesn't seem like those guys don't seem like they're transferring, because they're not playing or whatever. I think they just love playing for him, and they love that guy so much, and he meant so much to them in high school that they want to play for him. And like he said, kind of give it one last run.
Yeah, and then being in Charlotte too, like you said, it's a fast growing city. It's the banking hub, so you got internships, and a lot of guys do care about what's next after football. Like having that avenue, that's a big selling point for Charlotte. And I mean, I can't wait to get back to the Queen City on Saturday, Sprouse. It's going to be electric. I hope the weather holds off, and we'll get to do our pregame show for the spring game.
Well, you heard him say it. It better be a packed house. Better be. So I hope so too, man. But definitely looking forward to that. Again, thank you to Coach for coming on. Thank you to Tom for setting it up for us. Really, really appreciate that. Looking forward to getting out there to Charlotte, seeing you guys again, seeing Charlotte fans, students, alum. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's all we got for you on this episode of Group of Five Guys.